Left jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best, you gotta show me son. Actions over words, baby boy, is you real or what? Talking way too much, world combat sports. Talking way too much, world combat sports. Talking way too much, world combat sports.
What up, it's your boy Roy Jones Jr. and right now you tuned into World Combat Sports.
It was good. Salute to everyone that's on the VAR. It's Saturday. Man, you already know how it goes. It's ATL traffic. I suppose had a win on yesterday. Man, it's just weird turn of events. I'm like, good Lord. You know, I was in the city, but it was packed. It was a lot of human beings out in the street doing whatever they was doing. So, just back Friday, man. We have one of the biggest fights of the year, of course. The ugly. You know what I'm saying? David Benavidez and Caleb Plant is absolutely going down tonight to finish off any. I'm talking about years and years of speculation on bad, and it's gonna go down tonight to settle the score. Hold on for a second. Like when you come in through the building, we got some hot topics today, man. Of course, you know how WCS will break it down for you. Definitely willing to talk about Benavidez in the second chapter of this live stream. But I want to hurry up and get this out the way, because if I don't right now, it will get swept into a dustpan and put into the trash bin if I don't get it out the way. You know what I'm saying? It will be a part of the post-live cleanup. Give me a second. Okay, so this is where we at with it, right? So looking at the thumbnail, I really want to get Jermall Charlo out the way because if I don't, it will get trampled and stomped on. You know, with me talking about David Benavidez and Caleb Plant. But first, let me acknowledge the first in the building. Big Blunts and Box, man. Salute to you, brother. Appreciate you being the first on deck. Man, I couldn't make it yesterday, man. It was you know, Atlanta had all these accidents, real bad accident, man. Couldn't get into here. Something else was up. You know, that's why insurance is so high down here. Somebody didn't know how to drive, racing, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Shaw News to Sauce Experience, a.k.a. Showtime, Shaw Team Tucker on deck. Just a week out. Just a week out before Showtime, man. Team Tucker will be in the building in Tulsa. They just a week out. Salute to you. Team Jihad in the building. Let's go high, grease, smash the like button. No doubt. No doubt. Toby on deck. Salute WCS in the chat. Salute to you, Toby, from across the pond in the building. CMD box reports. I don't know why showing. I don't see you all. You know, they're doing some crazy stuff. It's not even showing anybody. It's tuning in. Why? Hold on for a second. Chase Money on deck. I see you. It's not showing the people that's tuned in. It's not showing anything. Like it's not even live. Let me see. Let me check over here for a second. Shouldn't make no sense, man. Okay, it's showing it over there, but it's not showing it over here on my StreamYard for whatever reason. Okay, let's keep cooking. Big on some boxing. Okay, let's get down to this, right? So, you're looking at my thumbnail, Jermall Charlo, man. He was at the weigh-ins for some reason. David Benavidez and Caleb Plant both made weight, balanced the scales effectively, and now we're ready for this showdown at the super middleweight division. This has been a fight that's been on deck for so long. Like, man, I tell people all the time, like I talked to Benavidez on several occasions, even in his hometown, Nashville, when I drove up there for the fight card when he fought Vincent Feigenboots. Hell of a fight card, though. He said that, you know, David Benavidez was the easiest in the division. He told me in Vegas, when I talked to him when he was sitting next to his pops, that Benavidez was the easiest in the division. He has already made it perfectly clear that Benavidez is not only a person he don't like, but he considers him to be the easiest fight in the super middleweight division. That's based off his claim, his confidence, and everything he is set to bring into the ring tonight. He's pretty confident on that. Now, for both of them making weight, okay, they have had bad blood between each other, had a spat, a tussle, you know what I'm saying, in the gym back in the day. And it happens sometime in boxing. They are in combat sports, right? So Jermall Charlo is there to witness a specific fight that he seems to be the one, he seems to have the motivation now to be a part of. Okay, the last time we had a sighting of Jermall Charlo, he was in sound mind and body having a dialogue with Dimitri Bivol, and there was a bit confusion going on because he was just, seems like he was asking for a fight just for the fans when Dimitri Bivol's schedule says he has other big things going on. You know what I'm saying? He's the He's a champ at 175, but Jermall Charlo is currently at 60, but his weight probably takes him to cruiserweight, and he was putting it out there like, hey, just fight me. We can fight for the belts at 68. Now, I don't want to be a what they call a mully grub. I don't want to be an antagonist, but I don't know if he was absolutely sober. I don't know. That's yet to be seen. But when he was at the face-off, he said something. He pretty much put it out there that he had some type of urge to want to fight the winner. Not just any winner. He was saying, regardless if David Benavidez win or lose, he want to fight the man. Let that sit for a minute. Let that for you. Let that sit for you. All right, let it sit for you. All right, just let it sit for a minute. Because listen, you know how many times that he was put on the spot to call out David Benavidez? You know how many times that people had conversation and asked him about what's his next move in his career? And this man could never come up with a solid, direct answer. It was always, I don't have to say his name. Mike Tyson had to tell this man to say the names, and he felt some type of way. To my, he ain't no Mexican monster. Well, he's the Mexican monster if you continue not to say his name. Isn't that what the folklores are all about? You hear of all these legendary folklores, but yet people are afraid to say the name back then because it will come and do whatever the story, said, put a spell on them, take their life, you know what I'm saying, or cause them 7 years of pain, or whatever the case. But Jermall Charlo said he wants to fight David Benavidez, win or lose, at 68. Win or lose. Now, this goes back to him pulling out of the fight because he had a back injury. Did y'all hear anything from the interview about his back? How well it's doing? I didn't hear anything from the interview. You know what I'm saying? I didn't hear anything about his back injury or what have you. So hopefully his back is doing well right now, and he's ready to get back in there and fight great competition. Now, another name was brought up, Demetrius Andrade. It tells me, since he's willing to bring up Demetrius Andrade, that means internal to the Al Heyman headquarters, somebody's been having a different type of tone of conversation lately, because now his demeanor, his tone is all different. Jermall Charlo is up here requesting and calling out names. And it's puzzling a little bit because this guy was criticizing those same people as if they had to chase him. They was in a whole nother division, but he was acting like they supposed to chase him, and he's at 60. He's hanging out at 60. Who's supposed to chase you, bro? Like, that middleweight division has nothing going on except the mannequin challenge. Y'all just sitting there, standing there, waiting for somebody to come find you. Once they stumble upon you, you think it's a treasure? It ain't no freaking treasure, bro. You're standing there just throwing away, ticking days away off your career. So I'm assuming, right, that a conversation was had recently while he was out handling his personal business. That they say, hey, when you come back to the sport, it ain't no more waiting. There's no more waiting. You talking about you come to 54 to fight Crawford? Listen, bro, you don't want to do that because you know Crawford wouldn't get a fair shake with all that weight you have to lose, rather. You know what I'm saying? So you go up to 168, and now all of a sudden he's down to fight David. Win or lose. Win or lose. Win or lose. Jermall Charlo is now motivated to face David Benavidez. Unbelievable, y'all. He's motivated to face David Benavidez and potentially Demetrius Andrade. Both of those fights, back to back, will be damn good, especially Demetrius Andrade, because that's a history that's been long, in the boxing community about how business was done a certain way, how certain people are just, holding grudges. That would be a great fight. But why do you all think that Jermall Charlo is now all of a sudden active? Showtime, you have anything? Toby, Big Blunts, what do y'all think? Why is he so active? Chase Money, CMD. I just want y'all input. Why do you believe he's so active and calling out this name, win or lose? Now he just didn't call out the name. He gave you a plan A and a plan B. Both of them consist of fighting David Benavidez regardless. So I want to hear from you all. Do you think there might be a drastic measure that was taken with Jermall Charlo, with him needing money, or him, going through these personal situations that he has to take some big fights? He has to put his all on the line like his brothers already did. Do you think there's been talks already? I think so, bro. I think there's been some talks behind the scene. I think now, with everything that's been coming out in the media, I believe those closest to him, I'm talking about at the Al Heyman headquarters, have told him that you need to fight big fights. You can't come in here and fighting names nobody know and don't care about and continue to believe that you're relevant. Here's a desperate housewife. He needs some action. I think he finally got his life together outside the ring. All right, so listen, from what I got, right, Blunts believes that Jermall Charlo got his life together. You know what I'm saying? One thing about Blunts, man, he's been on some positive civil rights activists with this boxing. He's believing recently. I ain't mad at you, bro. You know what I'm saying? He feels that he got his life together outside the personal stuff that's been in the media. I feel you. Shot News say the back nine of his career, they told him they're not paying for watered down matchups no more. See, that we go. You know what I'm saying? Either his personal life, factoring in his personal life, and then factoring in how, Al is probably told him that he's not paying for watered down matchups no more. That may have influence him to increase his urge to step back in the square against big names. He said, no back injury. He needs to fight bad. He needs to fight bad. He's willing to fight Boo Boo and David. He does need to fight bad, man. He needs that paycheck. He finally said David name. He might be desperate for a fight now. I think so. Seriously. I think he's definitely in some level of desperation to get in the ring. Now, the good thing about his desperation is this, that those of you that's in the chat, right? And those of you that's just tuned in on the outside looking in. A part of his desperation is a good thing. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully we're going to take his desperation, inject it to his motivation. Take the desperation, inject it into the motivation, and hopefully he's motivated. It provides an extreme bit more of motivation. You know what I'm saying? For him to get in there and fight. For him to get in there and show why he's one of the best super middleweight. You know what I'm saying? Take his desperation and inject it until his desperation, and hopefully that desperation, motivation allows us to see a better Jermall Charlo stepping in the ring against these big names. Now, one name I didn't hear him talk about, but I don't think anybody will complain about it, and that's David Morrell. Now, in certain circumstances, people will be like, okay, you reach back and you fight David Morrell. He has way less experience than you. I can see what Jermall can be like, well, I'm not reaching back to fight that dude, regardless if he got a belt at 68. Like, I'm serious. Jermall can be at 60, but David Morrell, I mean, he still is pending the experience factor when it comes to the middleweight division. Unfortunately, what happened to his last opponent, he sent him to the hospital. I think he shouldn't have been in there with a caliber opponent as David Morrell. But if Jermall Charlo's taking the elevator up to 68, would David Morrell be a pretty good debut? Or he just want to go straight to a big fight? I think he wants to go straight to a Benavidez and an Andrade, to be honest with you. You feel me? I just think that's where he's at. But the fact he finally uttered the name of David Benavidez, I don't think it was on his own. I don't think he was sitting there saying, you know what, I'm ready. I think he was forced to. I'm not trying to rain on this man's, porch where he was sitting at watching everything go on. I'm not trying to rain on his porch, right? On his patio set. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to not take him serious. But every time I turn around, it's a Charlo making excuses for a big name fight. Those individuals who they supposed to challenge, they haven't really stepped up to the plate and challenged them until now. We was wondering to ourselves, will he ever fight Andrade? Are they going to stay mad forever just because they had bad business back in the day? Andrade is a two-weight champion, just like Jermall Charlo. Are you going to stay mad forever? Are you going to stay mad forever, bro? Why do my people stay mad forever at one another? But they be so quickly to forgive the other. They stay mad with the brother and they take forever. Forever, bro. We take forever to let shit just go away between brothers. It's been long overdue, man. Long overdue for them to finally step in the ring. It's been long overdue. So hopefully, with Benavidez, Andrade, the fight happens. We want to see it. We want to see the fight happen. I'll definitely like it. Like to see Jermall Charlo reinvent himself. Somewhat put him on a new tour, a resurgence, and get back in the ring. Let's get to the David Benavidez, Caleb Plant. Hey, I'm happy tonight, man. I'm pretty sure y'all are happy. I'm happy, man. I done seen all y'all talking about this fight. Man, this fight, the tempo of this fight, man, when it comes to media, is positive. A lot of people been talking about it in a good way. You know what I'm saying? Like we supposed to have for Crawford Spence. A lot of people are talking about the good, bad, and the ugly with this fight. The good is that it's happening, y'all. This fight is finally happening. Caleb told me several times that, hey, Benavidez is the easiest one in the division. So I've been expecting Caleb for quite some time to prove what he's saying is just not talk, right? But he said it for quite some time, man. He's the easiest in the division. I don't like him, this, that, and the other. He's made it perfectly clear. The bad part of it is they have animosity between one another for quite some time. It's been contentious, and that's just the way it's been. It's been like that for quite some time. And the one that I feel in the press conference, when they finally met up and the presser and the weigh-in, no, I'll say it, the presser has been David Benavidez up to them stepping on the scales. Now, Caleb looked in tremendous shape, shredded, You know what I'm saying? Look healthy. Benavidez, I don't know how long he's going to be able to make 168, but I commend him for balancing out the scales the right way for this fight. You can tell he has a big frame. You can tell Benavidez has a big head. He's a big boy. You know, he used to be a fat kid. You know what I'm saying? That knew how to fight. But one thing we can say for sure is that he made weight. Now, up to this, when you talk about the bad part of it, we was looking at David Benavidez like, is he losing his confidence? Not confidence. Is he losing control? Is he losing his bearing? You know, because he was like, oh, you can fight outside. That might have been the start of his weight cut, and he was feeling crappy. I'm just going to assume. I'm just going to put a label on that. I think he was feeling a little bit crappy, you know, going through drastic measures. But you didn't hear him on here crying, but like Ryan Garcia, he just started to lose weight. He's a big boy. He started losing weight, so he probably wasn't feeling too good. But he made weight, and the two was facing off, jarring back and forth. And this when it becomes ugly. It becomes ugly because Caleb Plant, who's always been pretty much a pretty cool type of dude, right? And he's been very cool throughout the pressers. But something that I'm assuming happened with Caleb during that Canelo face-off. The fact that Canelo wanted to act, and he wanted to then make it a little bit more spicy. So he pushed Caleb, and Caleb came back and tried to, you know, slap him, and Canelo landed a two-piece. The aggressor in this face-off was Caleb Plant. Caleb took his damn finger and put it right there on that artery right there. Now, if you don't move and somebody's pressing on that, yeah, you can breathe funny. But he drew first blood with the physical contact. You know what I'm saying? He drew first blood. Like, you remember Jose Benavidez and Terrence Crawford. Jose pushed Crawford. You know what I'm saying? He pushed him. In this case, Caleb put his finger just like Floyd Mayweather did to Victor Ortiz, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Floyd Mayweather took his left hand and put it up on Victor Ortiz's throat, just like Caleb Plant did. Go back and look at it, if I'm not mistaken. So Caleb kind of jumped out of this, you know, cool, composed type fighter that we've been seeing during the presser. And he said, okay, we at the weigh-ins right now. Now I'm really give it to you. And he put his hand up there on his throat. And Benavidez, you know, he didn't have the opportunity to respond the way I thought. You know what I'm saying? So it's ugly right now with that. He already done put hands on Benavidez in the freaking face-off. You know what I'm saying? This can get no worse, except for one of them to step in the ring and get slept tonight. It can get no worse than that. The good part about it, like I said, man, we finally seeing the super middleweight step in the ring. One of the super middleweight matchups we've been talking about. This fight has been made, y'all. I love it. I love it. This fight has been made. Plant shows what he's learned from Canelo scuffle. He drew first blood in the damn face-off at the weigh-in. He drew first blood. He put his hands on Benavidez, knowing they was going to be split apart, and they weren't going to let them get close together to do it again. He knew that. Mauricio Suleiman was up there, you know, shuffling Caleb Plant back. When did the president of a sanctioning body get in between fighters? Mauricio, come on already. Come on, Mauricio. Why, you have trainers, you have paid security, you have all these other individuals who are employed to carry out those duties, Mauricio. Come on, chill. Just hang out in the back, man. It doesn't to us because we ain't face off like this. We've seen intense face offs. We don't need people that really don't supposed to be in that position trying to jump outside and do extra collateral duties. We don't need that, y'all. Come on, Mauricio. Do better than that next time. Trick Notes, what's good, man? WCS, what's good this morning on deck? Chat, good morning. David has a six-pack. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. David did, in fact, have a 4.5 to 6 piece, when it comes to his abdominal region. I was happy. I hope he had a decent weight cut to the point where he still has his strength. He still has his strength. 'Cause I'm pretty sure right now, he's feeling pretty good. You know what I'm saying? No rehydration clause. They both big boys. I mean, Caleb Plant is saying he's a true super middleweight. So if he believes he's a true super middleweight, then he may be implying that David Benavidez is a true light heavyweight. And was the weight cut a little bit more extreme on Benavidez's part to drop all that dang weight? I don't know, man. Throughout the course of his fight camp, it seemed like he kept a pretty decent weight, bro. It seemed like he was disciplined. I ain't gonna lie. But shout out to my guy, Trick Noty, bro. Good to see you on deck, man. He said Al Heyman threw him off the porch and said he got to call those guys out now. For sure there, Shaw. And shout out to my guy, Shaw News, man. I see you out here working with that fire, with that flamethrower, brother. Real talk, Showtime. I see you out there changing levels, bro. That's what my respect is with it. You changing levels with the media game, putting out way more content, learning new things about it. Hey, that's what it's about, bro. That's what it's about, man. You changing up the flow, man. You know what I'm saying? You done changed the calm, pond with no ripples. Now you got white cap waves and shit. You know what I'm saying? I see your traffic all out there on IG, man. Keep doing your thing, brother. That's what's up. Shout out to your family and your daughters, man, out there getting it in. Each one teach one. Hey, Blunts. Tonight is going to be pretty easy, because a lot of us don't have vested interests like the other fight. This, we're pretty much looking forward to, see who is the better fighter out of the two. Because the momentum of this matchup is that Caleb Plant is just coming off of a knockout win of Anthony Durrell. So he has some momentum coming into this fight. But no one has never defeated David Benavidez for his titles. No one. No one never defeated this man for his titles, yo. Nobody. So his bragging rights is that he has an O on his record. David Benavidez, he has an O on his record. No one never defeated him for the titles. Canelo Alvarez was able to get, the 2-for-1 chicken dinner. And Caleb Plant, yes, he's been a champion before. He's been in there with Canelo Alvarez. He has a lot of in between. Like, he has a lot of, different type of experiences that you can consider in addition to his boxing FICO at super middleweight. I mean, come on. Canelo had to boost up his FICO a little bit, bro. He has a higher FICO than Benavidez, in my opinion. Caleb Plant. He did. He was able to go in there and do fairly decent until he was stopped by Canelo. So, shout out to him. Shout out to both of these guys making weight. We'll be tuned in tonight. We will be tuned in tonight. Blunt said Lawrence Okoli versus David Light on Sky Sports Pro Box. David versus Caleb on Showtime. Jose Ramirez and Richard Comey on Top Rank. We'll be boxing from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to my guy Comey. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy Comey. He's going to be in there with a tough fight. Former unified super lightweight champion and Jose Ramirez. Shout out to Comey. Good dude, man. Very solid cat, man. Good dude. You know what I'm saying? Lawrence Okoli and David Light. It's funny you mentioned that because I was reading on that early this morning. I was reading up on that. You know what I'm saying? But, man, shout out to them. And shout out to Pro Box. And shout out to Pro Box. Big shout out to Blunts, man, for dropping the content, dropping the info into the live chat, feeding the live chat. You know what I'm saying? Refresh the mental chat is always good. I would like for you all to refresh the mental chat. That means if you have information that's boxing pertaining, or to better elevate this live stream, doing it while I'm actively on, put it in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Put it in the chat. But man, I'm looking at this fight. Caleb already lost his freaking O. Benavidez, I'm not saying that he's going in there in no way, shape, or form, you know, concerned about his O. No. I just feel with Benavidez, he wants the Canelo fight. Right? So being that Canelo has Ryder next, depending on who wins, let's just say Benavidez, for instance, will he even get a shot at Canelo Alvarez next? Because if I'm just getting out the ring from fighting Caleb Plant, who fought Canelo Alvarez, and I'm the winner, I'm not looking for Jermall Charlo. I would tell Jermall Charlo to fight Caleb Plant. Seriously, if I was in a position on the up and up, like David Benavidez, I would definitely go looking for Canelo Alvarez and not Jermall Charlo. Have Jermall Charlo fight the Andrade or Caleb Plant. That allows Caleb Plant to get another solid, you know, showing, paycheck, and also another, you know, another solid name in boxing, because we don't know what Jermall Charlo is going to look like at 68. That's 8 pounds. 60, 68. That's 8 pounds. And somebody in the ring, not out the ring. So we don't know how he's going to look. We don't know what his cardio is going to be like. But he need to fight somebody. He need to fight somebody with a name up there. And I don't think it should be David Benavidez just because he called him out. Benavidez has absolutely nothing to gain by putting Charlo's O on his record. I'm just being honest, y'all. He don't have, in my opinion, anything to gain. Maul will be up there making his debut at 68. He's been inactive for a minute. He really don't have no Wall Street up there at 68, no clout. He needs to find a name for some clout. Like, he needs to find a name up there to put him in the same position to try to get a shot with the big dogs. If I'm Benavidez, I'm going straight to the top. I want Canelo. That's it. I want Canelo. So for Jermall Charlo to fight Andrade. Fight Andrade, man. Fight him. You know what I'm saying? Fight Caleb Plant. Fight any one of them other guys you see. That's all I'm saying. I want to move on, right? And we'll be back on a little bit later. You already know what it is, people. Salute to y'all. And thanks for the supporters. I want to talk about next the Gervonta Davis, Mike Tyson situation. So this is not brand new, but it still has a shine on it. You know what I'm saying? It still has some goddamn a clear coat on that. You know, the topic has a clear coat on it. So depending on how the sun hit it, you know, it's still good. Reigning defending lightweight world champion Gervonta Davis, who set to face Ryan Garcia in April. I don't know how to take this. You know what I'm saying? But the legend himself, Tyson, was asked by Michael Benson. Or Michael Benson spoke. Let me back up. Michael Benson spoke about a question that was asked or generated for Mike Tyson. He said Mike Tyson asked if Gervonta Davis remind him of himself. And Mike Tyson's response, and quote, "It's maybe just getting in trouble with the law. Other than that, no." So, first of all, WCS is going to look at this and say, come on, Mike. Come on, regardless of what Tank has done in his boxing career up to this point, it doesn't even come close to what you got in trouble for back in the day. It doesn't even scratch the surface, to be honest. We're talking about the cannibalism that was carried out by Mike Tyson on another legend. You know what I'm saying? For you to basically try to disfigure someone. And, you know, I don't care too much about the street stuff that went on between him and Mitch Green and everybody else. You know, that's just what he was. Brownsville owned. You know, Mike was a tyrant growing up. Mike had a rough life. Gervonta had a rough life growing up. But if you want to polish up the names of either fighter in comparison to their pros and cons, I think to this day Mike Tyson still did way more than Gervonta Davis when it comes to legality, the legality aspect, get in trouble. But I do believe, like, Mike Tyson had Ryan Garcia on his show. And he allowed, you know, Ryan to talk all that trash about Gervonta, call him up on the phone or whatever, and really try to build up this fight back then when it didn't go anywhere. And he was up there talking about how pretty he was and how short he's going to have to get a step stool. You know, Ryan Garcia was just talking mad trash. But for Tyson to come out of his mouth and say, I'm going to formulate an opinion that, yeah, the only way that he links up to me, him being Gervonta Davis, is that, yeah, we both got in trouble. Both of us get in trouble. That's the only way I can really compare me. Nothing else really, nothing comes to mind. I'm thinking hard now. Pondering another thought. Let me sit on this for a little bit. Let me come back. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, that's about it. Both of us getting in trouble. I have to say, Cap, that's a lie, and you're not being fair as a legend. People treat you as a boxing guard. They want to get close to you, Mike. You know what I'm saying? They got this weird, eccentric type of respect for you. You did so much dirt. You went to prison. I mean, you just have an unbelievable backstory of adversity that people tend to overlook because, you know, your stature is larger than life to certain people. They remember you for being a tyrant in the ring and a tyrant out the ring. So why don't you afford the same to Gervonta Davis? Because he has gotten in trouble outside the ring. But he's a tyrant inside the ring just like you were. He was a tyrant inside the ring just like you were. He is a tyrant, bro. He is a punisher. He is a punisher just like you. So how can you say that the only thing in comparison is the trouble and say Gervonta don't have no skills? You know, you're not even being fair with anybody, man. That's a selfish comment to make. You know, I have to look at it for, was Mike Tyson, you know, sober? Was he on some mushrooms, some shrooms or whatever? Was he on the best strand out his dispensary over there on the West Coast? What was he smoking on? He's drinking. What was he on, bro? Because you just can't disrespect a man like that. Like, act like he ain't did shit. He don't have no skills. Come on, man. I got mad respect for Mike Tyson. Like, dude, man, I used to like when Mike Tyson come down there in them black shorts and black boots, you know, with no socks on, with the towel, the mic that came out with the cutout towel. I mean, come on, man. But the eras have changed. Boxing fans love fighters with power. They love with power. Now, of course, in the heavyweight division, it was very special to see when you throw that hook to the body and uppercut. It was lovely to see you stab him. Blah-blah. It was so quick, man. Go to the damn rib cage and then up through the middle, 12 o'clock, and slice him with that uppercut. You used to do it. You was a short fighter knocking out bigger fighters. The same thing Tank does. You cannot deny that Tank has boxing skills, bro. His boxing skills, Mike, let's pick the yours. Back then, your boxing skills, though powerful, Though it was powerful, bro. Your boxing skills unbelievably powerful, imposing. It can be they can be one way sometimes, but they wasn't as versatile as Tank Davis. Seriously, your boxing skills wasn't as versatile as how you select your arsenal, how you delegate your arsenal in the ring. It wasn't as versatile as Tank's. Tank, in my opinion, is a better boxer than Mike Tyson when it comes to fundamentally skills. You know what I'm saying? Him putting this combination together, being able to move in the ring. You know what I'm saying? All that. Fight, box off the back foot, set traps. Yeah, Mike Tyson fought in the heavyweight division, but when it comes to a predatorial mind, the size really matters. It depends on the killer. It depends on the killer. And to me, we already knew what Mike was bringing to the table. We knew once he get close to you what was coming. Tank tends to set traps. You can see Tank's genius play out. For a fighter his size, you can see how he methodically set traps for his opponents. Not everything has to do with a forward aggression like Mike Tyson, because we knew once Mike Tyson started his charge, what was coming behind it. Tank, when he charges, you don't know what he has in mind. You don't know, is he going to come full pledge? He's going to go full steam ahead. You know, he's not loading up on shots like that, like you would see from Mike Tyson. Predictable when he get just throw those power shots. You don't know if a hook is coming to the body. You don't know if you're going to get hit with a jab. You don't know if it's going to be an uppercut. You don't know. But Mike Tyson, you did. You pretty much knew it was coming. And though he was effective with certain subject name fighters, Mike Tyson was effective with subject name fighters. He was. You can't extract the credit that you should be given to the active generation right now. You know what I'm saying? The new generation when it comes to boxing. You can't take that away that the man don't have boxing skills, bro. I mean, you can't say he don't have boxing skills, man. He has boxing skills, man. You playing yourself. If you think you can come over here and say, well, he ain't doing that special except getting in trouble. Nah, man has more versatile of an arsenal and how he goes out here and fight than you did when you was fighting. You was blessed with a crazy amount of power in a division where your opponents aren't as mobile as the lighter weight classes, like we see in the lightweight division, the junior lightweight division, the super lightweight division. So you have more of a stationary target to bang them out. Not in the lighter divisions. Fighter who was blessed with power in both hands, just like, you know, Tyson is praised for, but his mobility is different than Tyson's. His punch selection is much more educated than Tyson, in my opinion. I'm just serious. I've seen Tyson take some shots. I've seen him, you know, be very appointment orientated with the jab. I respect Mike Tyson's when, you know, prior to him getting knocked out, you know, they landed some shots on him. He had a pretty decent chin. But like I say to everything, fatigue will bring a knockout. The way you take care of your body outside the ring, if it's reckless, that will also bring a knockout to your front door. And that's pretty much what happened to Mike Tyson when he fought Buster Douglas. It's a lot that I'm not going to sit up here and go ham and say, okay, Mike Tyson, he's just being a hater. He's not in his right frame of mind or whatever. He just flat out don't like Tank. But it kind of goes down that road when you look at these two fighters, and you just say the only thing that compares you all, you know what I'm saying? the one denominator that matches you all up as fighters with power is getting in trouble. That's cap. That's a lie. That's a lie, bro. Bruce Gas Boxing Jazz some more. What's good with it, Bruce, the OG in the building, brother? Salute to you. Jay ready on deck. Toby Bartlett is responding to Bruce. Yeah, that's the way I see it with Gervonta, man. You know what I'm saying? There's no way Mike Tyson, whose career is over and done with, can go over here and say the only thing that you all link up well is just getting in trouble. That's selfish, bro. That is straight up hating. You know what I'm saying? That is pretty much being acting like you're bitter. You know, because Mike has been on record as saying, you know, he when he get in his moments, his emotional moments, he says some stuff like he feel like a bitch without, you know, having that guy around. That's because Mike level, his mentality, his level of mental destruction back then was at an all-time high. This is a dude that you really didn't want to cross paths with the wrong way, especially outside the ring, right? I can get what he's talking about. But also we know that you in this day and time, you're somewhat medicated. So everything that comes out your mouth, we just got to take it with a grain. Because you can't say that Tank don't have any skills when he's out here doing the exact same thing you was doing. He wasn't blessed. You know, he wasn't blessed with no crazy height to be 5'10". He's 5'5.5", something like that. He wasn't blessed to be 5'8", 5'10". You know what I'm saying? With that same amount of power and have a bigger frame. No, you know, God blessed him in a different way. He didn't bless him with the easy road to grow and excel as a fighter in the sport. You know what I'm saying? He didn't bless him with all the components you need. He blessed him with a package. You know, he gave him the height and reach that he chose, but yet he blessed him with one thing we look forward to and adore in the sport of boxing is what? Power. With that power, they blessed him with a mindset. They blessed him with a brain. They blessed him to be able to remediate, to be damn good at the highest level of boxing, to be able to remediate, and know how to fight. So you can kind of blend that in with how the road that he went through, his travels from the beginning, for him being able to go in there and remediate and get trained by Calvin Ford, Kenny Ellis, and whoever else that participated in building up this superstar, right? You take all that, mesh it all together to what he is today. Mike Tyson's just on the outside looking in because he would rather be in that same position. He would rather be in Tank's position right now, still fighting if he could. Because mentally, if he was to look back, because we always want to say what we should have did in hindsight. If Mike Tyson looked back on what he could have did better, his mindset, you know, it plays a huge factor in it. Like you always talk about what you should have did in hindsight, what you would do if you was to go back, what could have been and all that. But it's in hindsight. Mike Tyson's hindsight right now a little bit is Tank Davis. Because both of these guys were short fighters. They didn't have the longest arm reach. But yet they possessed that equalizer that boxing fans like to see. They love to go see Mike Tyson step in the ring, man. The way he stared down. The way he glowered at his opponents. And he said he tried to break them. He wanted to see him blink once. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you had your time. But to sit up here and act like, you know, Tank don't have no skills other than freaking getting in trouble, if that's even considered a skill. You know, I'm just saying, he don't have no skills when it comes to boxing, but the only thing y'all link up with is getting in trouble. That's BS Tyson, man. I can't respect that, bro. Man, you did so much in your heyday that people should have banished you. Like you are a somewhat of an enigma internal to a riddle. People really can't figure you out when it comes to, certain people being ostracized for all the wrong stuff they did in boxing, and then some people like yourself that did some of the worst. You know what I'm saying? From domestic violence to prison time to freaking biting people's ears off. You know what I'm saying? You did some stuff that people say that was inhumane. You was an animal. You was a motherfucking animal. They'll say he's an animal, bro. But they still treat you as a boxing god when they see you. They say, oh man, that's Mike Tyson. You was one of the few who was able to survive without being banished, bro. So how and why are you trying to banish the lighter aspect of what Tank has going on right now? That's not right. That's bullshit. And these soft ass boxing fans, right? They'll say they follow the sport. They'll say they was looking at the sport way back when, and they totally understand it. But every time I look on the YTC, I hear people talking as if they really didn't really pay attention to what was going on back then, to what boxers did back then. Hey, them fighters got physical back then in the presser. This shit that we see today is light. It's light. Lennox Lewis wasn't playing. Lennox Lewis didn't play with them, bro. Hasim Rothman, come on, Mike Tyson. They wasn't playing with dudes back then. B-Hop up there disrespecting the Puerto Rican flag. Man, he made it out alive, dog. They wasn't playing with disrespect back then. It's more, in my opinion, more disrespectful actions that went on back then with boxers than it is today. I always bring up the Riddick Bowe and Larry Donald situation because this damn time, if a fighter punches one of these fighters and cut them inside the lip, cut their lip or cut them on the inside of their mouth or whatever, in my opinion, those fighters would not take the fight. They would take the check, but they won't take the fight. When Larry Donald when Riddick Bowe two-piece Larry Donald, the fight still went on with Larry Donald having a cut on the inside of his lip because Riddick Bowe punched him with no gloves on. They used to get down back then. They used to get down, bro. But today, you get somebody like Tank that's late to a press conference, and then let's just say on the West Coast when he steps in LA, they face off. They do the face off first. And Ryan Garcia is not giving us the, the genuine part of who he is in life. Like, they had to have him do it. They pep talked him in the elevator on his way down from the balcony. You know how they say they talk him down from the balcony? They was talking Ryan Garcia down from the balcony because he felt safe up there. As the elevator got closer and closer to the bottom floor for them to cross over to the venue, they had to talk that man down from his safe haven into the lion's den, into the motherfucking Coliseum. He knew he was going in there and face off against Tank. He knew he had to do more because people was complaining about the presser the first time. So when he walked up there, he started talking and he wanted to get physical. He lucky that's all it was. That Tank lightly touched him on his chin. Lightly touched that man. And the fact that he was able to land the left hook. And Ryan goes back to his goofy video freaking production and starts shoe shining. Bro, that's not the time you shoe shine. That's the time you return fire, bro. You could have pushed him. You could have threw a jab to the chest. Man, you kind of showed your hand a little bit, bro. You say, it's just like a baby when a baby find out something, they do something new. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say you strike a match in front of a baby. And the baby might say, oh, that's the first time. Give you that look of shock. That look of, oh man, wow. I didn't see that coming. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see that coming. That's the kind of look Ryan had when Tank caught him with the left hook. He said, "Oh, you got me. Let me show you something." Don't nobody want to see that bullshit, bro. You got caught on the chin in front of your home, in front of your people in your hometown. You should have goddamn returned the punch, or you should have pushed him. Not sit up here and play it off and say, "Oh, Jitty, okay, get jiggy with it." Get jiggy with it. Get jiggy. No, we ain't dancing, nigga. He just cracked you on your chin a little bit to show you that he can land the motherfucker, dog. I'm just saying, bro. I thought that was pretty goofy. I ain't gonna lie. Little flex on deck. What's good? I thought that was a little goofy there, Ryan. But yeah, Mike Tyson, man, he is who he is. He always gonna be, you know. He always talking about death and everything, but you know, Javante, you know, responded to his that Michael Benson tweet and said, "I agree, I have more skills." You know what I'm saying? And in my opinion, as a boxer, no doubt about it, you know, Tank has more skills. He's not as predictable as Mike. Mike had that lateral movement to gain entry, and he was intimidating to his opponents back then because he hit hard, bro. But once the game started to evolve, because he had a one-dimensional type skill set, in my opinion, in a lot of cases, people was able to come up with plans to last, you know what I'm saying, for longevity in the fight. They started to be able to know how to box him, to get past that power, to fight at the proper distance. You know what I'm saying? To use that Isak Cruz defense. They knew they had to work on their defense just a little bit better when they and Mike at the proper distance. They learned that over time. Now, if Mike Tyson wasn't partying and on drugs and all the other stuff they say he was, unquote, when he fought Buster Douglas, would we have had a different outcome? With history have had a different result when he stepped in there with Buster Douglas? It's possible. Buster Douglas was an incredible underdog. What was that? What was that? He was an underdog. What? 42-1 or something? I don't know. Some crazy underdog in the betting odds. They was telling Mike Tyson, man, you don't need to train for this dude. He's a bum. You don't need to train for him. He's a nobody. You're going to go in there and knock this dude out like always. You can go in there. You have the power. You know, the party, do whatever, and then go ahead and knock this dude out, man. Hey, you good. And Buster Douglas has some other things on his mind. You know, his heart was heavy from a different reason that motivated him to go in there and make history in that ring. And that was losing his mom. You know, when it comes to family, when it comes to death, sometimes that levitates you. You have an out-of-body experience, man, and you're able to do things that you wouldn't normally do just in a easy state. You know what I'm saying? A peaceful state of mind. But I don't know, man. That's what it is with me, with Mike Tyson. He's hating a little bit, a lot. If he's saying the only thing that y'all getting in trouble, I don't know if he did that shit purposely or whatever, just to build up controversy, to keep the attention on Tank. But I've seen Tanks, you know, destroy iron, the shit that was built out of iron. Truth be told, that Mike Tyson, I seen Tanks destroy infrastructures that had iron deposits and iron material that was built out of iron. I seen them joints get leveled. I'm just saying, I seen them get leveled at Mike. You know what I'm saying? I seen it get leveled, bro. See, the difference between your alias iron, that's the type of material. You know what I'm saying? But a tank, come on, man. A tank destroys. A tank has a lot more going for it outside of his armor, but it has his ammunition. So use iron and you have a machine versus a material. You have a machine versus a material. You know what I'm saying? You were saying that you have the iron, you have the armor, you have the exterior, you know, you have the exterior security part of it. You have that exterior layer for your defense mechanism and all that. Or when you crack somebody, it can become an offensive weapon, iron. But when a tank can come at you at a distance. A tank can come up on you at a distance, run you the fuck over, and keep going like you never existed. A tank can let out freaking ammunition. A tank can fire on you. A tank is built for rough terrain there, Mike. I'm just saying, it's built for rough terrain, bro. That's all I'm saying, man. Stop hating on the young lions, man. Stop hating on the young lions. We got this fight coming up real soon, in April. I'm looking forward to it. We're gonna be back on tonight because it's a hell of fight night that's going on, and I'm curious to see who gets this done. You know, I'm curious to see it. I'm really pulling for Richard Comey. I don't want him to become a journeyman, even though it seems like, you know, people are already calling him that. But, you know, let's see, can he get a very solid win off Jose Ramirez, because Ramirez ain't no joke. Ramirez ain't a chump just because he lost to Josh Taylor. You know what I'm saying? For real. What's going on, Jones? How you feeling, bro? What's going on with you? On deck. Salute. Lil Flex Lewis on deck. Yeah, man, that's what we looking at. So, man, y'all don't take this too close to the heart of Mike Tyson. And you know, because, you know, Tank is not the only person that he had a situation with. You know, he's had a situation with Floyd. He had a situation with plenty of people. I'm just saying, right now, right here, you know, Gervonta is actively in the ring. He's building up his freaking legacy. He's going to be a future Hall of Famer. Seriously. I mean, people need to stop looking at, in one sentence, you say belts don't matter, but yet when the Hall of Fame label is coming up, you're gonna act like, well, he haven't done enough. Done enough in what sentence? Like, break it down for me a little bit. Done enough in what? Because in one breath they saying titles don't matter no more, and then the next they say it's all about who you fight. So the criteria for the Hall of Fame has to be a combination of many titles, names on your resume. You know what I'm saying? All of that. So it's not far-fetched to say that you're speaking on a future Hall of Famer there, Mike. Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Keeps on doing what he's doing, and whatever that is, keep fighting the names that you know, people want to see him fight Ryan. So after you go ahead and fight Ryan, get it done. Don't say Ryan was never built for the kill, and he was never really ready for that type of fight. No. I see too many people out here talking about how Ryan has a chance just like Rolly. Ryan has a chance just like Rolly. That's what y'all saying. So therefore, let's see what Mike Tyson's gonna say, you know, come next month. Let's see what Mike Tyson has to say. Let's see what the naysayers, the bystanders, onlookers have to say. Because right now, we should be building up these fighters a little bit more in boxing because we're starving. Well, I wouldn't say we, because I pretty much, I'm eating off different entrees of other combat sports. So this is not my primary source of nutrition. I'm just being honest. All right? I'm just being honest. But we're kind of starving off good fights. Grand fights, great fights. And tonight, we are getting one of them. It would have been good if both of them was champions. If Benavidez was the WBC super champion and Caleb Plant was the IBF. Both of them world champions in super middleweight. It would have been good. This would have been a unification fight. It would have been great. But still, they name hold value. Even though Caleb has lost to Canelo, He came back and knocked out the rail. So he has momentum, bro. You got to show him love. He has momentum. And Benavidez, he's been like this huge dude that people say that's too big for the 168-pound division. We'll see. We'll see what Gervonta has going on with Ryan Garcia, whatever that pins out to. The team, Ryan Garcia, just keep him off the mic. We don't want to see him out here complaining and whining about this shit no more. He took the fight, deal with it. It's done and over. It's done and over. Let it go, bro. If you don't want the fight, pull out the fight. And let the fans be stomping on you so we can see all those feathers flying in the freaking air like a duck. You know when a duck get hit by a car? All them feathers be flying all over the place. If you want to pull out the motherfucking fight, pull out. Don't hang around to the last minute so people can think that we're going to get the fight. And then you say, oh, I broke my fingernail. There's no way I can fight. I usually have my fingernails at a certain length. But no, we don't want to hear that shit. Last but not least, right? We're still waiting for the grand finale. I still haven't heard any announcement yet, and I'm still patiently going about my business. And if by chance I hear the news is broke, then I will tune in. But this shit is transparent to me. I'm really not paying attention to see if an announcement is going to be made. I'm pretty sure when it happens, everybody's going to be talking about it. I'm talking about for them, the way they think. If it happens, those individuals are going to be talking about it. They're going to be jumping up for joy, running through the streets. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them will probably lose their life before the fight even happens because they're going to run into traffic, jumping up and down. People don't even know what's going on. They think they just a deranged lunatic. But they happy that the announcement was made. No, don't do that. I'm trying to save lives right now. What I want you to do is just stay calm, cool, collective until you actually are at the weigh-in. Get to the weigh-in. Then we'll know if it's absolutely going to happen. Forget the presser. If you believe that's going to happen, forget the presser. Wait till we get what we have seen against David Benavidez and Caleb Plant. You understand? That's all I got on that. That's all I got on that. But we'll talk later on the day, man. Y'all hold this shit down, man. It's always a pleasure. Salute. Hit the like button on your way out. Continue to support the channel. You know what I'm saying? Turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports.